Adam Booth here, Upshift Online, out in the mountains of Idaho. 2021 Gasgas EX350F. This is kind of a motocross bike tuned into somewhat of an off-road bike. We're kind of riding some of this technical stuff on it today. This thing is more at home with open trails, open desert, maybe a little moto, maybe a little GNCC style. I mean, that's kind of what they're doing for that kind of stuff. Higher speed, more intense, a little stiffer suspension settings. So this thing, we've been on the fire roads and stuff, it's really fun, more open trails, kind of flowy. This stuff is a little more technical, so it gets a little tighter. The suspension is a little stiffer over the rocks and the roots, and the motor has a little bit of a tendency to flame out, but it's kind of a fire-breathing engine. I mean, this thing is fast. I have a 2015 Husky 350 dual sport, and this 350 just romps on that motor. So this is a very aggressive engine. It's on and off on the power, and so you have to kind of rethink your riding if you're used to a regular trail bike out on this stuff. Got to cover the clutch, be a little softer with the right hand, but as soon as it opens up, this thing's super fun and kind of really throws out some big roost, and you can smoke by your buddies. So we just wrapped up a day of riding this Gasgas EX350F. I wanted to point out a couple things we've done to this. Before we rode it, we put on some Cheruby's full wrap handguards. We put on a Yosh muffler slip-on with a Sparky, since we're out in the forest. We don't want to burn anything down. And then we also did a seat concept seat. So this thing is a hair taller than stock, and it's just a little wider in the back for longer days and more comfort. It's narrow and sleek up where you ride, wide where you want to sit and chill. So after a day of riding this bike, this is definitely a motocross bike, decorated a little bit for off-road. This is a bike for racers. This is a bike for GNCC guys. This is guys who want to race in the desert. They want to go fast, and they're aggressive. It would take more than you'd want to do to make this into a great single track machine. There's things you could do, like a Recluse and some, maybe even a quieter choked up exhaust with a different tip to mellow it out. Probably some ECU mapping, things like that, but that's not what this bike is designed for. This is a motocross bike, kind of reshaped and detuned with an 18-inch wheel, a little bit of mapping, 6-speed transmission for off-road, but it's not enduro style off-road. This thing is fast. We rode on fire roads, and it feels like a 450. You just crack the throttle even wide open in third or fourth gear, and the front end still lifts up. Off-road, again, I mentioned earlier, you have to cover the clutch a lot on this, going up single track or through rocks. The throttle is so responsive and the engine's so ready to just rip the rear wheel that you kind of just float the clutch all the time, so you're half engaged to be smooth over the bumpy stuff, so that the rear wheel isn't just directly hooked to that bike and through the chain and bouncing on rocks, and your elbow drops a little, throttle cracks open, and then the bike wants to just go. For a good guy, for an aggressive guy, a guy out in the desert, like I said, this thing rips. It's really fun, and that's where it's most at home. So this is a fast, off-road, aggressive bike. It's fun, it's cool. The fast dudes are gonna love it. The wide open riders are gonna love it. And if you want yours to look even as sick as this, you're gonna get some Upshift graphics like these. So again, keep up with Upshift. Check us out on YouTube, the Instagrams, the international worldwide webs, and the free digital magazine every month.